Hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with Game 3 of EndlessWaltz versus Mokomi from Boilerfrag 4.0. The series is, in fact, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the first two games, go check them out. But the series is tied up at 1-1, so that does mean that I actually do remember seeing this. But this is from the from the losers finals, so that does mean the winner of this will advance on to face the loser of the winners finals and have a chance at going into the grand finals. So this is a very important match. This is possibly going to determine who the potential winner of the tournament ends up being. So let's go ahead and introduce these players. Up here in the top right hand corner of Cloud Kingdom, we have the blue Protoss player. He is at 1 win on this best of 3 series. Can he finish the set? His name is Mokomi, also known as Moki. And his opponent also has 1 win. It is tied 1 versus 1. Can EndlessWaltz take this series? He is spawning as the bottom left-hand corner, red Zerg. Once again, his name is EndlessWaltz. Now, once again, we do see a very normal Forge Fast Expand coming up from Mokomi. We're going to have to see if he does decide to go for that Nexus first once again. I do not think that Nexus first is quite as safe on this map as it is on a couple of other maps, but we will end up seeing whether or not he feels safe doing that. Now, this probe is going to continue to be as annoying as ever, and it looks like he did see that this was in fact not a gas first, followed by pool build, so he might feel a little bit safer in taking that Nexus first. But only time will tell. That spawning pool will finish up, and eventually those Zerglings will end up being able to clean up this probe. Oh wow, actually the hatchery actually able to be planted down, and since that Nexus was thrown down first, he will not exactly have the opportunity to start cannoning this expansion, at least not quite yet. Now this drone is going to be out for blood. He remembers what happened in that first game where that probe was so annoying to EndlessWaltz in trying to block that third expansion, and it looks like Mokomi gonna have to be very careful to make sure that this drone does not get that third expansion down very quickly as well. Now that Forge will be finishing up in just a little bit, so Mokomi, if he does see that this drone tries to take a too early of an expansion, he will be able to start doing some very annoying cannon stuff over here. And actually, I think that you can do one pylon right here and then a cannon over here, and that's very difficult to deal with as a Zerg player, as those Zerglings really can't attack that cannon if it is over there. But we do see 2 Zerglings out on the map, and they will be able to clean up this probe. And wow, actually this probe being very annoying. Now with these 2 Zerglings and 1 drone, it looks like they are not quite enough to out DPS that pylon, but that pylon will eventually have to be cancelled by Mokomi. Actually just barely getting out DPS, slowly but surely losing health. And there is not the cancel. That's actually a bit of a blunder, as losing 100 minerals is kind of annoying this early on, especially when you can save it. But we do see that very early third being taken from EndlessWaltz, so really not too much damage being done by Mokomi, as all 3 of the hatcheries are already up. The drone count will just skyrocket now, as he will have all of that larva to be spending on purely drones. He only had to produce those 2 Zerglings. Did he actually end up losing one of them? No, looks like he's using 1 to control that watchtower and 1 to just poke at the front. This is a very nice play from EndlessWaltz, making sure that he gets that early scouting information. He wants to be seeing whether or not this Forge is in fact getting that +1 weapons, as that can be very important to see and tell whether or not Mokomi is likely going for, actually a very interesting decision. Mokomi actually has gotten both of these gas geysers, but has not actually started mining from them. So if EndlessWaltz does decide to peek in, he might actually think that is a mistake. We're going to have to wait and see if that is a mistake, as I think that it's not a mistake. Mokomi has actually gone ahead and gotten the gas for the +1 weapons, but did not actually, he then took the guys out of gas. So it must be an intentional thing, and it looks like he also got enough gas for that warp gate technology. So we might be seeing a very heavy zealot aggression coming out of Mokomi, a very interesting build. We're going to have to see how that goes. Meanwhile, at the same time, EndlessWaltz has no idea about this. His overlord is now moving over to the Actually, I don't even know where it's moving over. It looks like it's going to be able to poke a little bit at the front, but it's probably going to get picked off before it can really get away anywhere. The Stalker actually deciding it doesn't actually want to kill that Overlord. It is not okay with genocide, at least not yet. But anyways, Mokomi is going to go ahead and move across the map. He's going to see what he can find, and does have this pylon or probe position in a very interesting position. Likely going to be planting a pylon with that big aggression. Now let's see. Oh my God, 7 gateways down for Mokomi. 8 gateways. Oh my God. So that's going to put him at 9 gateways. This is going to be a 9-gate zealot aggression from Mokomi, as he's still not mining any gas. And this is going to be so scary. What does EndlessWaltz have to prepare for this? He does have 1 spine crawler up. He is still producing drones. Oh no! And he has those Zerglings, and that +1 weapons is going to finish up for Mokomi. That means that without the evolution chamber finishing up that upgrade for his Carapace armor, he will be taking those Zerglings will get 2-shotted by the Zealots, and that's going to hurt so badly. Does he have a Roach Warren? Yes, he does have a Roach Warren. That is going to be so important for this attack. Now, he should actually see this pylon going down. This is a very inconspicuous pylon. So yeah, it looks like he will go ahead and pick that off. Now we do see a couple of pylons are down, and the Zealots are warped in. They are going to be able to start killing off the units. The Stalker does go down, but they are killing off quite a few of these drones. Oh no, they weren't mineral walking through. He is still up a good bit in the worker count, but it looks like for now he's going to have to be dealing with a very scary army, as 9 gateways will be warping in Zealots. Now we see a couple more Zealots moving in. They're splitting themselves up. A very nice decision, as EndlessWaltz is going to have a very hard time just completely outmassing the Zerglings to deal with this huge Zealot count. Now they're going to get into a beautiful position. Now the 3rd does go down, so that's going to put EndlessWaltz into be a very rough position, even if he holds up all this aggression. Now the drones getting killed off. We see here in the workers tab over here, we see the workers are dwindling by quite a bit. These Zealots, again, sitting at +1 weapons, so that does mean, wow, this is Zealot already up to 6 kills. He's going to be able to get a couple more before he goes down as well. Some roaches are being produced. We also have about 4 roaches out on the map, so they will be able to do some good damage if they can get into a good position. These queens also going to be very important, but the hatchery is getting target fired down. Oh no! As the longer this aggression goes, Mokomi will skyrocket ahead in units as well, because there's only 1 hatchery producing any units, and these Zealots do end up getting cleaned up by EndlessWaltz. He has quite a few roaches out now. But is Mokomi? Yes, he is starting to mine that gas once again. He is not getting any additional upgrades, though. He's going to go ahead and throw down some extra cannons, as I think is a brilliant move at this point. He is down in workers. Well, actually, no, he's not down in workers. Sorry. EndlessWaltz is down in workers. He's down in bases. The only advantage he has right now are these roaches, and he needs to just win right now or do a massive amount of damage. He needs to kill off this expansion if he wants any chance of coming back to this game. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do it if Mokomi is prepared for this, as he likely will be. He's already warping in those sentries. 3 cannons already up. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a couple more go down, as all Mokomi has to do is hold off this aggression. Now we see some more sentries getting warped in, and EndlessWaltz is on a time limit. He needs to do some aggression right now. He's going, EndlessWaltz actually going for the infestation pit. I'm not sure how much I agree with that at this point. He's only on 1 base, so he will only be mining gas from 1 base. Sure, he has a bit of gas save, but I'm not sure how many infestors he can really get out to really change the tide of this battle. Now we do see they are going to be able to pick off this forge, and that will allow something like, say, a lot of Zerglings to stream in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He needs to do a lot more than this, but I have to say, in EndlessWaltz's defense, he's going to have a very hard time coming across all of these cannons, and I don't think at this point he can even break it with this very small roach count. EndlessWaltz needs to do something incredibly risky. I would first say he needs to, well, I mean, keeping a couple of these roaches over here at the front is good. He can put on a little bit of aggression without making sure he does not lose those roaches, but he needs to go ahead and pick off all of these pylons. Oh, this is exactly what I was going to say. Mokomi can continue to warp in those zealots from these 3 pylons, actually, and he's going to continue to do that. He's going to put on a little bit more aggression. These roaches will be able to pick up these zealots, as they are just regular moving straight over to the natural. But the nice thing for Mokomi is that they're going to get a nice scout off, and he's going to know exactly what's going on in EndlessWaltz's base. He's going to know, at least for the most part, that EndlessWaltz is just trying to expand, and that the 3rd was not taken. At least this one was not. And he might even be able to get a kill or two. Yeah, at this point it looks like Mokomi already up about 15 or 20 workers in the worker accounting station. And EndlessWaltz in a very rough position. Now, what I was saying before is I think EndlessWaltz just has to take a risk. He has to kill off these and maybe take some really sneaky expansions, maybe one over here and one over here at the exact same time, and just hope that Mokomi doesn't go for some big all-in. It looks like instead EndlessWaltz is just going to hope that maybe Mokomi does go for that all-in and that he will instead have those investors out to deal with the all-in. And maybe if he can shut down that big aggression, he can instead either counterattack or maybe just do that massive expansion that I was talking about before. But Mokomi playing this very safe. He's not going to be going for that big all-in, at least not yet. He's going to wait until he has a very sizable army. He's going to get out some immortals. Let's see, does he have a robotic? Yes, a robotics bay is on the way and almost complete. So he's likely going to wait until he at least gets 1 or 2 Colossus. Only now, oh my god, oh, EndlessWaltz just does not even know about these pylons. He should know about this one, so he should go ahead and pick that one off. It looks like he will, and with that, he will also scout out this one. At least I think he should. Oh my god, if he does not scout that out, that's going to be so painful. This one more roach, okay, there it is. He does see it, and that would actually be very painful, is if he ever decided to move out, Mokomi could easily warp in a couple more units and just put on a little bit more aggression at this third or the natural. But it looks like Mokomi is moving out a little bit prematurely, in my opinion, as I think he would be behooved to maybe just play a little bit safer, wait for those 2 Colossus, as he knows that this expansion was only just at least recently taken, not any early. Oh my god! A huge win for Mokomi! He is actually heavily supply blocking EndlessWaltz. EndlessWaltz actually does have 9 overlords already on the way, so he will be unsupply blocked in just a second. But still a very, very big blunder for EndlessWaltz to have all those overlords out there that will stop a bit of unit production. EndlessWaltz actually forced to just produce more units instead of drones that he needs to really catch up in that worker counting station, to really start saturating this third. And I take back what I said about Mokomi's play. A very smart decision indeed. He did decide to just move out and just kind of scare EndlessWaltz. Say, hey, I'm about to attack it. Oh, never mind. You know what? Just go ahead. You can deal with all those units you just made instead of drones. And I'm just going to go ahead and go back to my base. That's cool with you? Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So anyways, Mokomi playing this out very wisely and very safely is actually going to be go ahead and start getting all this Colossus, Thermal Lance, and the first Colossus almost finished up. Plus 2 weapons going to be starting or finished up in just a second. It will be finished up potentially before the big engagement. Doesn't look like it. Looks like there are only +1 missile attacks for EndlessWaltz, and it looks like the investors are going to be able to get some great fungos off. If they can get there are a couple good ones, but they are not the money fungos exactly that he needs just yet. Actually getting some pretty decent ones. Wow, really heavily damaging the army of Mokomi, not quite getting him. Can he get some good fungos off? He might be able to break out some of the army if he can get some good fungos off and stop the rest of the army from retreating, but no, does not look like it, as those stalkers do manage to retreat in time. And how many fungos are left? It looks like there are still quite a few full energy infestors and some more roaches popping. The important thing though was that Mokomi did manage to snipe that third off while he is taking a third of his own. His third is already up, and EndlessWaltz is just going to be so far behind, and EndlessWaltz needs to do something about this. I really think he should try and take some kind of sneaky expansion. As we can see, Mokomi has not really gone and done any excess scouting. He might actually be able to make a bit of a comeback if Mokomi does not scout it. And I feel that I don't really like this move from EndlessWaltz, as he does not have the army to really deal with Mokomi's army, especially with these Colossus coming out. The second Colossus, well, being Chrono Boost, should come out in time to really be there for at least most of the engagement. Now EndlessWaltz's army is trying to move up, but he has to kill off these destructible rocks before he can actually reliably move up. This Colossus deciding that he's just going to say, hey, roaches, come at me, brah, come at me. I'll help you kill these destructible rocks. I just want to fight you right freaking now. But it looks like EndlessWaltz is going to go ahead and just chill over here, decide what the heck he can do at this point, as his third has been killed off twice now. He's in such a rough position. He knows that Mokomi has his third over here, but he just doesn't know what to do at this point. He has quite a few infestors. He has a lot of roaches left. He has the Vengeful Sacs researching. Oh, that is the Overlord drop. So a very interesting play could be coming up. If he can do a lot of damage and just kill off a lot of Mokomi's infrastructure, he might actually be able to make a comeback in this game. And I really like that decision. He's continuing to rally over a couple more units, but he's going to actually have a bit of a hard time trying to find a place that he can get a good drop in. Where can he go from? Can he go from here and maybe drop into the natural? That would help a little bit. That wouldn't be too bad of a decision. But maybe if he came over from the top, it's going to be a very hard movement to do, though, as the army of Mokomi is positioned right all over here by the third, and it's going to be very difficult to sneak it past that army, which is so close to the third of Mokomi. Now, finally, EndlessWaltz is going to go ahead and try and knock down the destructible rocks. Looks like EndlessWaltz might actually just be going for that Vengeful Sacs, maybe to put on some multi-prong aggression, try and get into the big engagement while dropping some things in the main, and maybe even just dropping some stuff in the mineral line. We can only wait and see. Now, we do see that Templar Archives is finishing up for Mokomi, so he's going to warp in a couple of those High Templar. Those are going to be very useful for feedbacking. It looks like EndlessWaltz moving up. He's going to get Force Field off in just a second. There are the great Force Fields. So many of these Colossus are going to get some great hits off. These roaches are not doing any damage whatsoever, as those Force Fields just completely deny them, and they are going to go ahead and burrow, but there is an observer, and they're just going to start losing their lives. And oh my god, EndlessWaltz needs to unburrow these and run! This is not a good situation. I think that EndlessWaltz might have just lost this game. Oh my god, these Colossus are going to be so happy. Racking up, actually, wow, all of them sitting for about 5 seconds. All of these Colossus are sitting at 9 kills, so 9 is in fact the lucky number. Whoever told you 7 was the lucky number was actually lying to you. But now these +3 Colossus, dear god, they eat everything alive. All ground units will die instantly to them. But it looks like EndlessWaltz is going to be in a very sad situation at this point. 24 workers to 65. Just 3 roaches and 3 infestors left. And I think that Mokomi is even a little bit confused that EndlessWaltz is not GG'd. Maybe not really sure what exactly EndlessWaltz is doing. It's actually just deciding to take a bunch of extractors. So maybe a little bit upset. I am actually going to go ahead and speed up this replay a little bit, just so that we don't have to wait around too long to see whether or not Mokomi ends up having to kill off all of the extractors of EndlessWaltz. I don't think that EndlessWaltz will make Mokomi do that. But of course, EndlessWaltz did just get knocked out of the tournament, so I don't blame him too much for just kind of chilling there for a little bit. And that is going to be a good game from EndlessWaltz. So a very, very rough game for EndlessWaltz. He was down in that game for so much. Actually, just that very early Zealot aggression, that very innovative and interesting build from Mokomi, just going for those 9 gateways. Dear God, that was a lot of gateways. These 9 gateways and that Zealot aggression with those 3 pylons that end up being around here. Killing off that third, killing off that natural, the target fire on the natural, a very smart decision, knowing that he could not really take on those roaches effectively with just pure zealots. Really setting EndlessWaltz behind and taking the game 2-1, taking the series. And that's actually going to be it. So Mokomi did advance on from the losers finals. He does go on to play the winners, the loser of the winners finals. So go ahead and tune into that. I will be uploading that game in a bit, or probably over the next couple of days at least. So hopefully you enjoyed this game. This game was, again, from Boilerfrag 4.0. So congratulations to Mokomi for winning this game. We're going to see who ends up taking the tournament, though. And thank you so much to EndlessWaltz as well for playing and giving us those great games as well. Anyways, if you guys have any replays that you want me to cast, you can go ahead and send those to feardragon64@gmail.com. If you guys want to participate in my event called Balance Battles, you can go ahead and tune into that on Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/feardragon64 if you enjoy these videos in any capacity whatsoever. And I'll see you guys next time.